Master's spiritual practice. To the devotees, God made me pass through the disciplines of various paths. First according to the Purana, then according to the Tantra. I also followed the disciplines of the Vedas. At first I practiced sadhana in the Panchavati. I made a grove of tulsi plants and used to sit inside it and meditate. Sometimes I cried with a longing heart, Mother, Mother, or I again, Rama, Rama. While repeating the name of Rama, I sometimes assumed the attitude of Hanuman and fixed a tail to the lower end of my backbone. I was in a God-intoxicated state. At that time I used to put on a silk robe and worship the deity. What joy I experienced in that worship! I practiced the discipline of the Tantra under the bel tree. At that time I could see no distinction between the sacred tulsi and any other plant. In that state I sometimes ate the leavings from a jackal's meal. Food that had been exposed the whole night, part of which might have been eaten by snakes or other creatures. Yes, I ate that stuff. Sometimes I rode on a dog and fed him with luchi. Also eating part of the bread myself. I realized that the whole world was filled with God alone. One cannot have spiritual realization without destroying ignorance. So I would assume the attitude of a tiger and devour ignorance. While practicing the disciplines of the Vedas, I became a sannyasi. I used to lie down in the chandni and say to Ride, I am a sannyasi. I shall take my meals here. I vowed to the Divine Mother that I would kill myself if I did not see God. I said to her, O Mother, I am a fool. Please teach me what is contained in the Vedas, the Puranas, the Tantras, and the other scriptures. The mother said to me, the essence of the Vedanta is that Brahman alone is real and the world illusory. The Satchidananda Brahman described in the Vedas is the Satchidananda Shiva of the Tantra and the Satchidananda Krishna of the Purana. The essence of the Gita is what you get by repeating the word 10 times. It is reversed into Tagi, which indicates renunciation. After the realization of God, how far below lie the Vedas, the Vedanta, the Purana, the Tantra, to Hasra? I cannot utter the word Om in Samadhi. Why is that? I cannot say Om unless I come down very far from the state of Samadhi. I had all the experiences that one should have. According to the scriptures, after one's direct perception of God, I behaved like a child, like a madman, like a ghoul, and like an inert thing. I saw the visions described in the scriptures. Sometimes I saw the universe filled with sparks of fire. Sometimes I saw all the quarters glittering with light, as if the world were a lake of mercury. Sometimes I saw the world as if made of liquid silver. Sometimes, again, I saw all the quarters illumined as if with the light of Raman candles. So you see, my experiences tally with those described in the scriptures. It was revealed to me further that God Himself has become the universe and all its living beings, and the 24 cosmic principles. It is like the process of evolution and involution. Oh, what a state God kept me in at that time. One experience would hardly be over before another overcame me. It was like the movement of the husking machine. No sooner is one end down than the other goes up. I would see God in meditation, in the state of Samadhi, and I would see the same God when my mind came back to the outer world. When looking at this side of the mirror I would see Him alone. And when looking on the reverse side I saw the same God. The devotees listened to these words with rapt attention. To the Mukherjee brothers, Captain is now really in the state of the sadhaka. That the mere possession of wealth should create attachment is by no means true. Sambhu Malik used to say to Ride, Ridu, I have packed my things and am ready for the journey. I said to him, God forbid. Why do you say such ominous words? No, replied Sambhu. Please bless me that I may cast aside all these possessions and go to God. God's devotees have nothing to fear. They are His own, He always stands by them. Once Duryodhana and his brothers were imprisoned by the Gandharvas. It was Yudhisthira who freed them. Yudhisthira said, "If our relatives are placed in such a plight, then it is our disgrace." It was about 9 o'clock in the evening. The Mukherjee brothers were ready to return to Calcutta. The master left his seat and began to pace the room and the porch. He could hear the kirtan sung in the Vishnu temple. A devotee said that Harish and Latu were in the singing party. Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees went to the Vishnu temple and saluted the deity. The Brahmins belonging to the staff of the temple garden, and also the priests, the cooks, and the servants, were singing the kirtan. He stood there a few minutes and encouraged the singers. On the way back to his room he remarked to the devotees, "You see, some of them polish the metal utensils and some go to houses of prostitution." The master returned to his room and took his seat. Presently the singers came and bowed low before him. The master said to them, "One should perspire, dancing and singing the name of God, as people do earning money. I had thought of joining you in the dancing, but I found that you did everything very well. You had flavored the curry with all the seasoning. What could I add? It will be nice if you sing devotional songs that way now and then." The Mukherjee brothers saluted the master. Their carriage was ready near the veranda north of the room. The master stood facing the north. On his left was the Ganges. In front of him were the Nahabat, the garden, and the Kuthi, and to his right was the road leading to the gate. The night was dark, and a devotee had brought a lantern to show the visitors their way. One by one the devotees bowed and took the dust of the master's feet. The carriage seemed too heavily loaded for the horses. The master said, "Aren't there too many people in the carriage?" Sri Ramakrishna remained standing. As the carriage rolled away, the devotees looked back at the master's face beaming with compassion and love.